So, over the years, I've reviewed MacBooks, I've reviewed Windows computers and laptops, and I've reviewed Chrome OS computers. All of them have their advantages, all of them have their disadvantages, but some of those have consistently stood out above the rest, and one being the Surface lineup from Microsoft. Now, I've had multiple generations of Surface laptops. I've had multiple generations of Surface Pros. I have yet to purchase a Surface Book, but I've heard great things about it. And then recently, in the past couple years, Microsoft announced the Surface Go lineup, which was basically a Surface Pro with dumbed down specs and a smaller display and screen to kind of obviously take it on the go. But I never really wanted to buy it because of the slower processor inside. Also, the bezels on the first generation were huge. The second generation looks much better, but still I just haven't pulled the trigger on that one yet. But when Microsoft announced the Microsoft Laptop Go this year, I was very, very intrigued. So I pulled the trigger on that one and I bought it. I've been using it for a couple weeks now and I wanted to do a review on it. I also want to show the initial unboxing I did a couple weeks ago so you can see that, but then I'm going to get right into the review. So if you've ever owned a Surface product before, all the unboxing across the entire lineup are pretty much the same. You have kind of the clean white looking box with the product picture on front of it, some specs on the back. Everything looks pretty minimalistic and clean. You rip off the shrink wrap, open it up, and then the product is right there on top. And this is the Surface Laptop Go, the 12.4-inch touchscreen laptop with Intel Core i5, 8 gigs of memory, 128 gigabyte solid state drive, and the color is ice blue, and the color is fantastic. I love this color. And I'm not joking when I say that this color, this ice blue color, might be my favorite color for any laptop of all time. I love the space gray look on the MacBooks, but this color is fantastic. And the only other things that are in this box are the user manuals from Microsoft about the Surface Laptop Go, and then the power adapter, which is the proprietary Microsoft Surface power adapter, not a USB-C power adapter. And again, I didn't get the base model. I got the next tier up because I think there's a lot more advantages for the extra money, the extra $150 for this next tier up. Some differences there. This one has 128 gigabytes of SSD storage, whereas the base model has 64 gigabytes of eMMC storage. This one has 8 gigabytes of RAM. The base model has 4 gigabytes of RAM. This one also has the fingerprint scanner, where the base model does not have the fingerprint scanner. And like a lot of other YouTubers out there, I can't recommend the base model at all. I'm not even quite sure why they came out with this base model. 4 gigabytes of RAM on a Windows computer, unless you're just doing web surfing, is not going to be enough for most things that you're going to be doing. If you start installing programs or anything like that, this thing is going to slow down tremendously. And at that point, if all you're doing is, surfing the web and emailing and that sort of thing, maybe a Chromebook for a lower price would be a better buy. But I think this one, the one that's the next tier up and retails for $699, will have enough storage, will have enough RAM for a lot of people out there. So let's talk about the design of this laptop, because this is the reason I love Surface lineup so much, is the design of their laptops and their tablets. I'm a huge fan of thin and light laptops that don't sacrifice build quality to become thin and light. And that is where the Surface Laptop Go really shines, is that this thing is extremely well made, feels very, very premium, but is also very thin and very light. It has that smaller than average 12.4-inch screen and comes in at only 2.45 pounds. And some people might dismiss this laptop right away because they don't think the 12.4-inch screen will be big enough. But what the Surface lineup does, and I wish so much that other companies would use this as well, is they use a 3:2 aspect ratio on their screens. And a 3:2 ratio will give you more vertical screen space than a 16:10 or 16:9 screen. And a lot of what you would use a laptop like this for, you're going to want the extra vertical space up and down. For instance, looking at a web page, you'll get to see more of the web page loaded up. Or working in Photoshop, or working in the Microsoft Suite, for instance, Microsoft Word, you'll get to see more of the page. Excel, you'll get to see more rows. So in my opinion, a lot of what you would use a laptop like this for, you would want more vertical screen space than horizontal. Now the screen is 1536 by 1024, kind of a weird ratio because it's 12.4 inches and it's a 3:2 ratio. But overall, I think it's a good screen. A lot of people make a big fuss that it's not 1080p, But I still think it's a good screen, to be honest. I think it looks crisp, everything looks clean, I think the contrast looks great, and the lower resolution should help with battery life. It does have a touchscreen. Now, I've never been the type to reach up and use the touchscreen on a laptop. I'll use it on, obviously, a tablet, but using it on a laptop felt weird to me when there's a trackpad right there. But if you're the type of person that likes to use the touchscreen on laptops, you have it on this product. And even though it is a touchscreen, you can't use the Surface Pen on this. So if you're thinking you're going to buy this and draw on it with the Surface Pen, don't do that. It does have a webcam. It is 720p, and it works perfectly fine for Zoom calls or any other type of video conferencing calls you might do. For ports, you have a USB-A, a USB-C, and then a headphone jack on one side. On the other side is just a proprietary Surface charging port. Would have been nice to see them add one more port to this side, maybe another USB-C, but still, at least you get one of each. The top is made out of metal. I believe it's the magnesium that they use on most of their products. Again, this one is ice blue and it looks fantastic. The bottom is not made of metal. It's made out of a polycarbonate that they said. I mean, it feels like plastic, like a very strong, sturdy plastic, kind of like a rubbery plastic is the best way I can describe it. And again, this is something that a lot of YouTubers point out and say that they don't like. However, I'm fine with it. I really don't care what the bottom of my laptop looks like all that much. And plus, I think this makes this more scratch resistant and it makes the whole product lighter. So we've reached my first dislike of this product, and that is the keyboard. And it has nothing to do with the typing experience at all. Actually, I really like the typing experience. The keys feel great. There's good travel. The click is very satisfying, a lot like the Surface laptops. It's the fact that there is no backlighting on this keyboard. And actually, I'm kind of astounded that any manufacturer, let alone Microsoft, would come out with a computer with no backlighting in 2020. And if you're targeting students, like it seems like Microsoft is with this product, it seems like a huge miss not to put a backlight in the keyboard, because students, I mean, they're going to be late night studying, low lit dorms. I feel like a backlight would be crucial for them. The thing I do like about the keyboard is the fingerprint scanner inside the power button. And they did this by making the power button glass, and then they put a light around the power button so that when you open up the laptop and you need to use the fingerprint scanner to log in, the light will pop on and you'll know exactly where to press. In the 2 weeks of using this fingerprint scanner, I will say it works good, not great. There's been a few times where it hasn't recognized and I've had to use my passcode instead, or a password to log in. But for the most part, I would say 75-80% of the time, it recognizes my fingerprint right away and I'm in. Like most Surface products, the trackpad has been great. It's not made of glass. I'm actually not 100% sure what it's made out of, but it's very smooth, easy to scroll your finger across, and it's actually pretty big for a smaller computer. You can only click on the front of this. You can't click on the back, but the click does have a nice satisfying sound to it. It's not too loud, which I really like. And after using this for the last 2 weeks, I will tell you that the performance has been as expected. And what I mean by that is that it's great for what it should be used for. But if you try to push this too much, you're not going to have a great experience. So I think we have to remember that this is a thin and light laptop with very average specs. The Core i5, 8 gigs of RAM, 128 gigabyte SSD. So this shouldn't be bought to really intensive gaming, to do 4K video editing and that sort of thing. But it is great at multitasking. It's great at running lightweight programs. It's great at the Microsoft Suite. It's aimed at students. And if you can get past the no backlight on the keyboard, I think this is a perfect computer for a student, because you can easily research, multitask, listen to music while you research or write a paper, maybe pull up some Netflix or something along that lines, do lightweight gaming and that sort of thing. I think it's perfect for a student. Or even a professional that's on the go, dad joke there, but someone that wants to keep up with work or needs a lightweight computer when they travel, someone that might want to install Slack or Salesforce or something along that lines to, keep up with work as they travel. I think this is perfect for. And in my 2 weeks of testing, for those use cases, I think this is perfect. It's very fast, very snappy, and keeps up. Now, if you start to do too much multitasking, if you have multiple apps open and you have multiple Chrome tabs open and you're trying to stream things, it does start to slow down a little bit. Things like Photoshop can be used, however, it does get kind of glitchy if you start working with too big of files, or if you have too many other programs open at the same time. The fans will start to kick on, the laptop will start to heat up and slow down a little bit, so something to keep in mind. And that's another thing I'm not super thrilled about this machine is the fan noise. It seems like it waits too long to kick on, and by the time that it does, the machine is too hot, so the fans kind of go crazy, and it's kind of loud. So hopefully some software updates can help with that. But in my experience, if you use this like it's meant to be used and don't try to push it too much with super intensive gaming or video editing or super big Photoshop files, I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised. Now that's just who it's aimed after, but is it worth it, I think is a bigger question for most people. I fully believe that Microsoft should have never even came out with the 4GB RAM model, and this one should be the base model. Priced at $550, this thing would sell so many units. But as it is, this one's priced at $700. Nothing we can do about that, but it does make it harder to recommend, even though I still do recommend it. And here's why, because a lot of people will tell you that you can get better specs at this price, and that is true. But I also believe that this is one of the most well-built laptops in this ultra portable category, and I do believe you do pay a little bit extra for that premium build. Because a big reason why you buy a laptop like this is for that portability, but you also don't want to have to worry about it breaking if it gets dinged in your backpack or bumped in your briefcase. You want to make sure that this thing lasts a long time, even though you're taking it to many different places. So do I think it's worth it at $700? Yes, but it's a hesitant yes, because like I said, I think this one should be the base model, priced closer to that $550, $600 mark. So if you can find this on sale or you get a student discount or something like that, then I think it's a definite buy. But at $700, it's a yes, but look around a little bit too. So I'm going to wrap this up, but I appreciate everyone watching. Hopefully this helps you make a buying decision. As always, please like and subscribe. Comment if you have any questions about the Surface Laptop Go. Comment below. I'll get to them. Thanks again, everyone. I'll catch you on the next video.